You are welcome to the Wealthy Continent channel, a channel dedicated to the great people and continent of Africa. Remember, where you find yourself tomorrow is a function of the decisions and actions you take today. On our series, You Are Responsible for Your Life, we're going to be looking at the topic, Keep Yourself Mentally Sharp. When you see somebody who is mentally sharp, they are thoughtful, they are resourceful, there are people who ask thought-provoking questions. Perspective-wise, they bring new things to the table. There are people with ideas. There are people who are problem solvers. They organize things. So the mind that we have been given is not just to be there. If we are going to be mentally sharp, it means that we need to work on our minds consistently. We need to have a program to make sure that we have a mind that is cutting edge. I always tell people this, if God knows that we don't need the mind, He wouldn't have given us in the first place. Majority of what is happening in our world today, what we call advancement, what we call technology, they are products of the mind. When you see a place that is working, efficiency, effectiveness, organization being in place, not that they don't have problems, but they solve them quickly. They take advantage of situation and circumstances and make things better. The function of the mind. How your life is going to be, your experiences on this planet, majority will be traceable to your mindset. When your mind is set, well, your life also will be set. Now, one of the things you have to understand is this. To be sharp means we respond well. We respond quickly. We respond with good ideas. We respond positively. I don't know about you, but if you have ever been into the kitchen before, or you go somewhere in a restaurant, working with a chef, and the chef said, be very careful of that knife. Be very careful. When the person makes that statement, they are telling you, don't mess around with that knife. That knife is sharp. And it can cut you easily. So sharp, you don't want to mess around with it. It's going to cut you. It shows you that that knife is a knife that is working and working effectively. Another time, maybe you go to somebody's house and, they just tell you, you want to use that knife, you're going to use a lot of strength because it's blunt, it's dull, it's not sharp. More strength needs to be used. They are telling you that that knife is not going to hurt you because it's not sharp. We want to be in a place where our mind is sharp and is relevant. We become a contributor to other people's lives. We can have a discussion with people, meaningful discussion, and when you leave, you're like, wow, I know what to do. I understand this subject better. I can see what you are saying. The thing about life is that we cannot sharpen ourselves. I remember back in the day, when you go to the market, you go to the meat market, you will see the butcher with a file and a knife. And it will be exchanging touching both each other, just to make sure that the knife is sharp enough to go through the meat and cut the meat that you want to buy. The same thing applies to life. If you are going to be sharp, if you are going to maintain sharpness concerning your mind, it means that you cannot sharpen yourself alone. You must interact with people of value. You must have quality relationship with people who can add value to your life and you can add value to. The more you interact with these people, the more your mind gets expanded, the more your mind starts changing and starts seeing things in a different light. We need people of value in our life. That's the number one thing. So you are conscious of the kind of relationship that you have. Remember, you cannot sharpen yourself alone. The second thing you want to do is you want to invest in yourself. Find good resource materials. from men and women that you respect, people of value, people who are practitioners, people who are doers, people who are experts in their own field. You want to make sure that you have those kind of materials. The more you interact with these people, the more your mind is sharpened. They don't tell you to conform. They tell you to be open-minded, to see, okay, there are many ways of doing this. I've always said this, when we talk about Africa as a continent, I always tell people we don't have an excuse to be a first world country because we have many templates to work with around the world. People who have done what we are trying to do, people who are achieving the kind of result that we want to achieve. We have so many templates to learn from. And if we use those templates, it will work for us because it has been tested, it has been tried. They've seen the strength, they've seen the weaknesses. So to adapt it will be easy. To look at it and make it work, it will be easy. Another thing you want to do to make sure that you keep your mind sharp is you want to have time of reflection, time of thinking, to sit down. How did this thing work? You are engaged in an activity, in a process. How did this thing work? What can I change? Can we present it in a better way? Can we do it? Now, those are thought-provoking times. When you sit down to reflect, to look at things, to see how it can be better, that is when ideas come. To look at other people's work and be inspired. That is when your mind comes alive. You have to have time where you sit down and think. That means that you have to have time when there's quietness in your environment, quietness in your mind. There's no anxiety. You are not worried about things. You sit quietly to go over things. You imagine things. You go through things. Now, this will help you a lot to make your mind sharp. Lastly, make sure that you have people that you pour out to as well. People at your level, people that you can teach. Because as long as mind is getting connected to mind, iron is sharpening iron, there is no way you are not going to remain sharp. So continue to interact with others. Don't just store up knowledge for yourself. Share with people. That's one thing we do on this channel. We'll keep on sharing and we'll continue to share relevant and right materials that will help you in your day-to-day life. That is one of the reasons we're here, because we care, and that's why we share. We share with others because it can work for everybody. If everybody would take all this relevant information on board. Remember, you have a choice. You can either have your mind sharp and effective, or you have a dull mind because you are not interacting with people of value. You are not interacting with resources of value. I don't know where you are. I don't know how your life is for now. But one thing I can tell you is this. When you are mentally sharp, not only will your life change, it will also affect your environment. If you have been getting value from our videos, we'd like you to consider subscribing to this channel, clicking on that like button, and sharing with others. Remember, you are a difference maker, and being different is normal. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.